him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-magob, it's time for the only news that matters. And Alice Cooper, the shock rock pioneer known for his theatrical stage performances and dark storytelling, has always credited classic rock and roll as his deepest music influence. While his horror-inspired stage persona seemed worlds apart from the Beatles' polished pop rock image, Cooper himself often pointed to John Lennon and Paul McCartney as two of the finest songwriters in history. He said, "When you think of the great songwriters, nobody was better. McCartney and Lennon just did such a great song. Take any Beatles song and it's the perfect 3-minute masterpiece. Anyone in the world would love to have written one of them." Back in the early 70s, Alice Cooper's fame skyrocketed thanks to hits like School's Out and $1 Billion Babies. Around the same time, Cooper became the self-proclaimed president of the infamous Los Angeles drinking club known as the Hollywood Vampires. The club included notorious rock legends like Keith Moon, Harry Nilsson, and Mickey Dolenz, while Ringo Starr was also a regular. John Lennon, then living in the U.S. during his so-called Lost Weekend period, was often considered an honorary member whenever he was in town. For Cooper, befriending Lennon was a dream come true. He said, "In the prime of Alice Cooper, we were getting all this publicity. John really liked that we were controversial, that we were banned in some places, and that we didn't care what critics like Mary Whitehouse said. He appreciated the rebellion." During one of the meetings, John Lennon singled out a particular Alice Cooper track as his favorite, Elected, from the 1972 album $1 Billion Babies. Released during the Nixon versus McGovern presidential election, the satirical song mocks the absurdity of political campaigns, with Cooper declaring his own run for office in a tongue-in-cheek fashion. He said, "When Elected came out, John thought it was a brilliant poke at politics. He even brought people into the records office saying, 'You got to hear this record.'" The song's biting humor and rebellious energy resonated strongly with John Lennon, who was no stranger to political satire himself. Despite his enthusiasm for the song, John Lennon couldn't resist teasing Alice Cooper with a typically dry remark. After praising the record, he said, "Paul would have done it better." Cooper laughed it off, admitting, "Well, of course he would. He's Paul McCartney." The fact that Lennon loved the record at all was such a huge deal for me. The playful jab highlighted the eternal Lennon-McCartney dynamic, even in Lennon's friendship outside the Beatles. Paul's name often came up as a benchmark for musical perfection. Though Alice Cooper and Paul McCartney never collaborated, Lennon's appreciation for Elected cemented the song quickly as more than just a political parody. It was a validation for one of rock's greatest icons. The story also revealed how deeply the Beatles influenced even the most rebellious rockers of the 1970s. Behind Alice Cooper's outrageous stage persona lay a songwriter who still looked up to the timeless craftsmanship of Lennon and McCartney. The friendship between Alice Cooper and John Lennon remained one of the most unexpected connections. Lennon's admiration for Elected and his cheeky suggestion that McCartney would have sung it better perfectly captured the humor, respect, and competitive spirit that defines the Beatles' influence on rock music. Decades later, It continues to resonate with fans of both Alice Cooper and the Beatles, reminding us how the world of rock and roll was bound together by admiration, rivalry, and unforgettable music. Alright, there you go. I would say that I think John Lennon would have sang it better than Paul. Paul's great, and he does the screams cool, Helter Skelter and stuff, and he can be heavier than John Lennon. He could. He wrote some. I don't think John Lennon wrote anything as heavy as Helter Skelter. No, not She's So Heavy or Everybody's Got Something to Hide. They're all heavy tunes, but I think McCartney wrote the heaviest Beatles song. But as far as that song, Elected, I can hear John Lennon's voice on that better. Maybe even better than Alice, but that's kind of like, I don't know. That one I'd have to think about, because Alice delivers that song so perfect. The whole, wanting to be elected. And I love that original video with the monkey. And I just saw, I think it was an AI video of a newer video to it. I just watched it. It was part of this news thing that I picked up on BeatlesDaily.com. That's where I got this story. And I was just like, it's not as good as the original, because the original has that early 70s feel to it with the monkey and stuff. And I love me some Alice Cooper, man, and I hope this story's true, because he tends to make up stories. And you want to talk about a phenomenon that I was too young to actually know, but I remember vividly that I knew Alice Cooper when I was a little kid. I might have been 6 or 7. I remember an Alice Cooper back then. And then later on I became a big fan. But, looking back at the history of Alice Cooper, they were huge. You just couldn't deny it, and I looked at all the documentaries and stuff, and huge band, man. It's a shame that it pretty much ended around this time, because Muscle of Love, not all the members were really on that album, and then he went completely solo. And I like a lot of his solo stuff, I really do, but not as much as the Alice Cooper stuff, especially all the way up to $1 Billion Babies. Muscle of Love is kind of spotty to me, and it's hard for me to say it's a Alice Cooper band album, even though they're all on it, but not really every song. Glenn Buxton, I believe, wasn't on it, or played very little on it. So yeah, after that, it's like, no more Alice Cooper band. And I do think the quality dipped. As good as a lot of his stuff is later on, it doesn't have that raw energy that the original band had. It became a little more like Alice Cooper. You can clearly see the absence of the original Alice Cooper band when it went forward. Everything starting with Welcome to My Nightmare, But hey, man, that Revenge of Alice Cooper does have some of that old Alice Cooper vibe captured really well. And it's without Glenn Buxton. Yes, he plays on one song, but I'm saying there's some songs on that album that could have fit perfectly on anything between Love It to Death and $1 Billion Babies. But yeah, I love me some Alice Cooper. Big fan. Still go see him live. Loving that last Revenge of Alice Cooper album. And I haven't been into Alice Cooper music since Dirty Diamonds, really. And yeah, this album just really floored me. Because, it's not because the Alice Cooper band is back together, I got to say it's good. No, because the Alice Cooper band came back together, Welcome to My Nightmare 2, or whatever the hell that was called. I believe it was the bonus tracks. They were horrible. And I believe there was even another song off another album that had the original Alice Cooper band. I didn't like it at all. At all. Where this Revenge of Alice Cooper, man, I've been playing it still. I played it like maybe not even a week ago. And you know what? I should spin it again. Because it rocks. But anyway, that is the only news that matters. I want to thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Leave your comments below about Alice Cooper, John Lennon, and your mama. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I said that already, didn't I? But you know what I haven't said yet? Like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Alice Cooper's Killer and schmack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.